Good morning and welcome to our Wednesday show, Jour du Galop on Inside News. We're going to discuss a very interesting and exciting race meeting that we've just been through. Then obviously our two to follow, our barrier trials. There were only two, and then we've spotted a couple of horses as far as training is concerned. Let's talk about the weekend. Well, it was a double header. I had to say Saturday was pretty quiet. In fact, one of the quietest meetings I've seen for quite a long time. But Sunday's Barbé was exciting. It was really electrifying atmosphere. The race itself was brilliant, and I saw a picture on Facebook, Shail, of the crowds from the outside looking up to the grandstand, and it's amazing. I mean, we don't for any race meeting back in South Africa, we don't get crowds like that, and it was pretty amazing. Neisius, you all know Neisius, he was top jockey. He was here for the Sunday meeting, and he was also so surprised at the turnout of the crowds. It really was an exciting race. Let's talk about the Barbé Cup itself. Well, let's talk about White River firstly. That was a terrific win from him. Obviously, there was a lot of sort of speculation going to the race about his, obviously his preparation, but that Tuesday morning gallop did it for me. When I saw him gallop, that was just gave me all the confidence that he was going to pull it off.
Yeah, exactly. How good is he actually? Because I'm not sure he was 100% the way he just quickened up. I was watching the race with my friend, and at the 600, I said to him, he's gone. He was in trouble. I don't know what Manoel Nunes did. He probably switched late, but the way he flew home was so impressive. How good is he?
Yeah, I mean, another thing, like I said, Neisius was here, and he was telling me that that this horse would probably be one of the fancied horses in the July handicap coming up if he wasn't sold to Mauritius. Talking about selling, and I mean, I don't know if you know one of the owners, France Law. I've known him. He's an absolute gentleman, and congratulations to France Law. If ever you are watching this, you put your money where your mouth is. Obviously, he wasn't a cheap horse. He must have cost them quite a packet. And so they put their money down, and the horse has done them proud. He's won 3 out of 3. Like we said, I don't think he was 100% right for Sunday's race, but he still ran a cracker, and he had a tough race as well. He had to pull off wide. And it was a cracking run. I want to talk about Cool at Heart, because wow, that was a terrific run. I mean, this was another thing that I mentioned, that I saw on Facebook. It's not very often that a horse runs second, and the sort of public and the crowd gave him a nice applause, which was very nice. He was drawn 11. He's just this season alone, he's gone from a rating of 52 right up to 80. Level weights, drawn 11 with the best in the country. Great run from Cool at Heart.
Great run, like you said, 6 running already, like 3 or 4 months. It takes a champion to do that. He always seems to stop at the 200, but this time he didn't do that. White River had to come and grab him at the post. Great run from Cool at Heart. I'm sure he won't stop here.
Yeah, and it's nice what Derek David said. Even if he gets beat or if he wins, he's still a champion in his eyes. So he's right. I mean, the horse is really... And what I liked about him when I saw him canter down, because when he cantered down last time, I was a little bit worried. It didn't look like this, but Vincent obviously freshened him up beautifully, got him perfectly ready for that race. Yeah, he really looked good. And then Black Cat back, that was a terrific run from him. Remember, he had a gallop on the Tuesday. He galloped Saturday, race on Saturday. And that was a great run from him as well. Level weights, the 5 wins in South Africa were all over 1400. We had speculation last week about the 1500. Yeah, he runs a mile, level weights, terrific run, and also a horse that looks like he's also got a terrific future here in Mauritius. Black Cat back, great run from all 3 others horses. The horses that ran first, second, and third, very, very good racing. And it looks like it's going to sort of just make our racing look a little bit more interesting for the future.
Yeah, and just to come back to White River, there's no doubt in my mind that he's the best horse in Mauritius. I want to know what they do next with him. Did they go the last leg of the 4-year-old of 1850? And like you said, Neisius told us that this horse can run the July. So would they be tempted to go for the maiden with him?
Well, I would imagine I think he'll stay. From what I think he'll stay. I don't think he's optimum distance, but I think he will stay. So I don't know really what else the Rameshwar Gajiras have got for the Maiden Cup. I mean, he's
probably.
Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be at least. Well, I've got written here, Mauritian racing is alive and is exciting, and at least we've got quite a lot of more exciting races to look forward to for the rest of the season. Right, let's talk about our two to follow. The horse that I really impressed me over the weekend, he was running on Saturday, was Vasco Street Tractor, and an incredible run from the Son of Twice Over. You just have to go back and read the staff's report and then go and watch the replay, and you'll see what a great run it is. He'll slow into stride. He was sort of like battling at least 9-10 lengths off them. In fact, I think at one stage he was 3-4 lengths behind the second last horse. And Imran Chisti was sort of just riding him along, trying to sort of keep him up with the pace. And coming into the straight as well, he had to switch. He had to switch him in. He never had a clear passage, but he really finished well, especially that last 50 meters. And well, judging from his South African form, he's looking for a little bit of further. And he looks like he's a very, very decent horse, this Vasco Street Tractor. Once again, go and watch the replay, read the starts report, and I'm sure that'll give you a lot more confidence when he comes out next time. I think he's going to take a power beating. Let's hope he doesn't suffer from that second run syndrome, and I think he'll take a power beating next time. Vasco Street Tractor, that was really a top run from him. All right, Shail, your horse to follow was Black Indy.
Black Indy, that's right. He did finish second. He was very slow to begin, and then he traveled last in the early stages of the race. Cedric had to navigate his way through to secure clear running, but he couldn't do that until very late in the race. But once he got going in the pen, he dropped. He absolutely flew home, and that was over 1,400 meters. He is obviously a horse that is looking for distance. Even his last run was over 1,850, where he finished third. Back in South Africa, he has won over 1,800 meters. He's still a 3-year-old, so he's obviously looking for distance, like I said. He's getting better with each and every run now. He's also got some good South African form, because he did run third behind the very classy One World.
Yeah, and I'm going to kick myself because on Friday I liked him. I put him in as one of my selections.
Yes, we did that.
And when I worked out my place accumulator, I didn't put him in. I put in Kudu and something else. And yeah, I started the place accumulator, and you know, it's just my own fault, because I did like sort of his second run.
Over 1850.
Yeah, when he sort of
improved. They dropped him back in distance.
Yeah, but still, to put in a place of accumulator, I should have. It's my own fault. So I've only got myself to blame. All right, well, that's our two to follow. So we will keep an eye on them. We'll watch their training and see when they're going to run out next time. Let's talk about the two barrier trials. The first barrier trial, we had Copper Force from the Pritam Derby stable, the green jacket. Captain of the Sea, Rameshwar Gajara. He had the red jacket. He was being repassed. And then Tawanui from the Nagadu stable, he had the yellow jacket. Copper Force, well, this is a terrific horse from South Africa. He's a 5-year-old. I remember I was in South Africa when he ran second in the Queen's Plate, and well, he's won 4 times. He's raced with some of the best horses in South Africa, and well, his best run had to be that second to Legal Eagle at level weights, and that is an unbelievable form line to bring into Mauritius. Yes, he is turning 6 now, but we've seen a couple of 5-6-year-olds do pretty well here, and terrific form right up to 1,600 meters, and I'm not surprised he's rated 66. Just have a look at some of the horses he's finished behind, and he's obviously going to be a massive asset to the Pritam Derby stable. It'll be interesting to see when Copper Force comes out. And then Captain of the Sea from the Rameshwar Gajara stable, he galloped last week, and they decided to put him back in, and he was reported to be green last time. Much better gallop from him. He looks like a nice horse. He took a while to win, but when he won, then he came out and won again. He's run behind some decent horses as well, Captain of the Sea. I think he ran 4th behind Cerelia, and that's a good form line. And well, he's had the 2 gallops now, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen him in the nominations this week. So it'll be interesting to see if he does run, but he looks like he's ready to take a race now. I don't think he's ready to win yet, but I'm expecting to be a nice horse, Captain of the Sea. And then Tawanui, unfortunately, so sad for the Nagadu stable. He's refusing to, well, he sort of jumps slow, and then he refused to gallop, and it takes a lot of hard work to get that sort of thing out of their mind, and which is a pity, because he did win 3 in a row for them. He is their highest rated horse in the stable, and you know, the stable's found a little bit of form now. They had 2 winners on the weekend, and another thing that we obviously wish them all the best for Saturday's July Handicap, Twist of Fate running there. But getting back to Tawanui, pretty sad to see these things happen, because it takes a lot of hard work to get them to jump and to gallop. Right, the second barrier, you had a look at that one, Shahil.
Yeah, that's right. We have 2 newcomers actually. Duke's Domain, also from the Rameshwar Gajara stable with the red jacket. He's a lightly raced 3-year-old by Pathwalk. He's had the 5 career starts back in South Africa for the 1 win over the mile. The format that maiden win has worked out pretty well, with 2 winners coming out of there. He showed a lot of speed in this trial with the blinkers, as he broke out well and went straight to the front. He's rated 36, and he should be making his debut pretty soon, judging on that trial. Dunzi, she's a filly, a 4-year-old filly by Kahal, who's a 2-time winner back in South Africa. She's a big-hearted filly because she's very consistent. 7 places, including 4 second places, where she was beaten by very small margins. She trialled nicely, and it will be interesting to see how she goes here off a mark of 34. And then there was Desert Thief, who was supposed to take part in this trial, but he jumped very slowly, and then his jockey pulled him up, and he didn't want to gallop, so they worked him on the center track later on.
Okay. All right, well, that's the second barrier. 2 naughty horses from the first and the second. Let's hope they sort that out. That was at barrier trials. Let's talk about some sand work. We picked out 10 horses that should be running this week or in the near future. The first horse I want to talk about is Rob's Jewel. No secrets that he's one of my favorite horses. He's only had the one run this season, and he needed that run quite badly. He's picked up condition. He looks like the Rob's Jewel of last year. He really looks like he's in terrific form. He put on some excellent times yesterday. I don't know if you do follow the times on the MTC site. Go and have a look at the times, his fractional times that he put up in yesterday's training. I don't think it's going to take long before he picks up his 6th win in Mauritius. And well, we all know that he's highly talented, and he will be a big runner. He's running in the 4th race this week. I think it's a 990, and he's going to be a big runner on Saturday. Keep an eye on him. All right, Shahil, the first horse you're going to talk about is from the Gilbert Rassid stable, Taranaki.
Yeah, that's right. Very impressive yesterday morning. He won last time out, but seems to have come on leaps and bounds after that win. He worked really nicely and in a good time too. He's entered over 1850 this week, which I don't think should be a problem for him because he has run third over 1800 back in South Africa. But the interesting thing is who's going to ride him, because like you said, Twist of Fate is running and Nuez Jaga is going to ride him at Greville. So interesting to see who ride their Gilbert Rassid horses here in Mauritius.
Yeah, and he beat Master of Spain, if I'm not. Yeah, Master of Spain came out and won a good race. Yeah, so that form has been franked. Barrack Street from the Gajara stable. Well, he's also nominated in the 4th race, the same race as Rob's Jewel, but they both looking in terrific form. Remember, this horse, he's only had the 2 runs, 2 wins. Last time he won in 61. He now drops down to a 56 on Saturday. And he's a top little horse. I think he's a lot better than he was in South Africa. And if I remember correctly, Pierre Strodum mentioned that he'd ridden this horse before in South Africa, and he wasn't sound back in South Africa. He said, can't believe how well he's striding out here. So keep that in mind. Obviously, Barrack Street, they've sorted out whatever sort of problems he's had. And it looks like it could just be a 2-horse race, that 4th race, Rob's Jewel and Barrack Street.
Yeah, that's right. I did mention him last week, actually. And like we said, he's got terrific 2-year-old form, but then he had some issues, but he's found that form again in Mauritius.
Yeah, well, obviously he's a sounder and happier horse, so yeah, so it'll be interesting to see that duel between Rob's Jewel and Barrack Street in that 4th race on Saturday. Right, last time convincing winner, Silken Prince. I think he was one of my, well, he is one of my 2 to follow, but you had a look at him?
Yeah, I did. We didn't fancy him really much last time. We thought he was going to suffer from that second run syndrome, but he looks even better than last time now at track work. He won on 1540 last time. He's entered in the 1500 this week. His work yesterday morning was very impressive with Manoel Nunes on board. He could be hard to beat once again if he lines up in the 3rd race.
Yep. Yeah, that's Silken Prince. He looks like he's going to be a nice little horse, that Silken Prince. He won a good race last time after that very good debut. Right, I want to speak about one of Pritam Dabi's horses. That's Consul of War. He made a terrific winning debut, and yeah, it was a very good win when he won first time up. Yeah, he continues to impress me, this horse. His work just seems to be getting better and better. As you'll have a look. He's really working well, and I wouldn't be surprised if this horse can make a 2 from 2 next time. Obviously, when he won, he sort of won at long odds. I'm not sure whether or not the stable fancied him to win first time out, but I reckon there'll be a lot more confidence this time. Some very nice work, and I haven't seen him entered this week. But the horse that he worked alongside there, Pride Rock, he is entered in the 3rd race, and he also put on some nice work, really striding out well, Pride Rock. So that was Consul of War. We won't see him this week, maybe next week, but working very well after that first win. Right, our 6th horse is Viking Trail. Another horse that, I see you checking all my 2 to follows, Viking Trail.
Yeah, both of your 2 to follows have already won now, Silken Prince and Viking Trail. In fact, you won the 2nd leg of the 3-year-old championship last time, beating Roll the Knight, who came out and won on Saturday, and that was impressive to win against his elders. He has come out to even better now, Viking Trail. He's looking so impressive in track work. He's not entered this week, but I do think he'll be running the last leg of the 3-year-old championship, which is over a mile. and that shouldn't be a problem because he has run second over a mile back in South Africa. So let's see how Viking Trail goes, and could probably be crowned the 3-year-old championship if he wins the last leg.
Yeah, I wonder if Rule the Night will be in there.
In the sixth, on the mile.
Yeah, because that was a very impressive win when he beat Palace and them last time.
Yeah.
And he settled nicely, and wow, he surprised me.
Yeah.
I must be honest. I didn't think he was going to be sort of, I wouldn't say good enough. I just didn't think he was sort of strong enough and fit enough and mature enough to beat all
because there were some good horses in there.
Yeah, there was. And that was a very impressive win from Rule the Night. So it'll be interesting to see if he runs in that last leg with Viking Trail, because the two of them will be vying out for the championship.
If I'm not mistaken, the Gilbert stable will probably throw in Cyber Special, who was also very impressive over the weekend. So that's going to be a really interesting race.
That's going to be a nice race
in the coming weeks.
Yeah. All right. Right, talking about champions, Ready to Attack, he was a previous Horse of the Year champion. I think he's a 2-time classic winner, and you have to say he was very disappointing last time after his good second to Ideal Secret. And when he put up some good work alongside Captain Falcon, who also seems to have improved a lot, Captain Falcon. But he is entered in the 5th race on Saturday, and you have to say that it is possibly one of the weakest races he's taken on in a long time, and his work is back to normal. I'm expecting a big run from Ready to Attack in the 5th race on Saturday. I also like the fact that he's coming down in distance at 16.50. The false rail was out a little bit. Could have maybe been a little bit too far for him, but back into a 1500 this time. I think that's going to be in his favor. So Ready to Attack, another horse to keep an eye on for Saturday. Right, Ovation Award, Shahil?
Yeah, a 3-year-old that I really like a lot. That was a promising debut run where he finished 5th behind Wall Tag, but obviously he's looking for distance because he's won 3 times back in South Africa, and 2 of them was over 1800 and 2200 meters. He probably won't be getting that distance too often here, but he's worked really well over 800 meters yesterday morning, which shows that he's asking for distance. Once they find the right race for this horse, I'm sure he'll do very well out here. I'm not sure he's qualified for the maiden yet, but I would imagine that would be his target this season or next season.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Ovation Award, he's got that sort of come on look about him, improving all the time. And like you say, we'll see the best of him once he goes over a little bit of ground. Right, my last horse of the morning, Southern Sun from the Patrick Mervyn stable. Well, he was given a tough task last time when racing in a benchmark 46. He was not disgraced that day. He was only 3.5 lengths behind the decent Bad Attitude, and I think Bad Attitude came out and won again. So so jockey Imran Chisti dropped his stick that day as well. So just that sort of made matters worse, and possibly the 1650 was a touch too far for him as well. Not nominated this week either, but I reckon back in his benchmark. We put a bit of super glue on Imran Chisti's hand. He doesn't drop the stick. I think he'll run a cracker next time. He's putting on some nice work, and I don't think he's a bad horse. I think he's sort of above average, and in his sort of right category. Let's keep an eye on Southern Sun. The stable did well. I think they started off. I mean, the stable is doing quite well. They're also starting to find a bit of form now as well. So Southern Sun, definitely a horse to keep an eye on for the future. And then the last horse of the morning, Shahil, you want to talk about Our Emperor.
That's right. Unfortunately, I won't be here on Friday, so I'll probably give you the winner of the Winter Stakes right now. Our Emperor is in superb condition at the moment. Very good gross gallop last week, and we saw that these gross gallops are being very impressive because Black Catback had one and he won, White River had one and he won, and now probably Our Emperor. We'll love the step up to 1850 because his 2 wins in Marches have been over 2-100 and 2-2. So he'll probably have Manoel Nunes on board, who will be, again, big race jockey, Manoel Nunes. I do believe he'll be very hard to beat.
Okay, yeah, that's Our Emperor for our feature race this week. Also, but I agree with Shahil. I think he's going to take quite a tough. It's going to take quite a good horse to beat him this week. All right, well, that is our Wednesday show, Jour du Galop. Remember, Friday morning we will be doing On the Mark. Shahil, you're not with us.
No, sorry.
I think
2 week suspension.
Yeah, that's right. He's suspended for not getting enough winners. Shahil's busy doing his exam, so we wish him all the best. I think Raksha will be with me on Friday. And she had quite a good day as well on Friday. She managed to find a couple of winners, so let's hope that continues this week. So remember, Friday, it'll be on our On the Mark show, and we'll catch up with you then. Goodbye.